Hey, is everyone awake? Sort of ready to fight? So I think what so my name is Benjamin Day. I'm the Executive Director of MassCare. We're a coalition of over 100 organizations that fights to make healthcare right in Massachusetts. And we also have our own grassroots network. We have chapters from the Berkshires to Cape Cod. I see even our Cape Cod chapter has a table over there. So I think what I want to do is talk a little bit about the situation. There's an unprecedented level of awareness about healthcare reform right now because it's on the TV every single day, it's on the papers every single day. It's an organizing opportunity like we're not going to see because in every other developed nation except the United States, healthcare is a right that can't be taken away. Not when you lose your job. It's a right that is not attached to your workplace. There are not tiers of healthcare coverage for different tiers of people. So you cannot go bankrupt in any other country in the developed world for losing, for having medical debt, because there is no medical debt. This is the crazy state of our healthcare in our country, and an unprecedented number of mortgage defaults are due to medical debt. It's an issue that cuts across almost every social and economic class. Businesses are even getting crushed by healthcare costs. So this is really an organizing issue of our time. And it's a good news, bad news situation. I think you probably know the bad news. The bad news is that the mainstream Democratic position on health reform right now is to the right of Richard Nixon. And I wish that was a turn of phrase. Everyone laughs when I say that, but it is literally true. Richard Nixon proposed that every employer be forced to cover their workers, and that everyone who didn't have a job would be covered through subsidies. That's gone. And Democrats are no longer even committed to establishing health care as a supporter in Congress. And we learned, as you've probably been hearing around the country, that the right wing has been organizing these around these town hall meetings, right? Trying to crash town hall meetings, scaremongering that there's going to be a government takeover of your health care, pushing back against establishing health care as a right. Most of this is engineered by insurance industries and right-wing talk radio. And Tierney was not having a town hall meeting, so the right wing was organizing a protest to ask him to hold a town hall meeting that they could then crash. So they set a day they were going to have a rally outside of his office. We decided to have a counter rally in the North Shore. And we showed up an hour before. We turned out about 150 people working with the labor movement, community organizations, communities of faith. And we took up basically all of Peabody Circle, and there was no space for the right wing to rally. They had to move 2 blocks down the street and rally outside the library. So it was an organizational victory, but let me tell you this, they turned out more people than we did. They turned out more people than we did. I think there's a tendency to often be dismissive of the right-wing organizing that's going on, to say, oh, these are just a bunch of crazy people. But they are turning out people. They have a grassroots network, and they have right-wing radio, which reaches a large audience and is capable of mobilizing. The right wing is developing new organizing tools to win, and we can't look at it lightly. Now is the time to mobilize. And there have been places where we've been out-mobilized. Stephen Lynch, who represents sort of South Boston and south of there, he was a single-payer supporter, signed onto the bill every year until healthcare was actually happening. The right wing mobilized in his district. He stopped signing on to the single-payer bill, and he wouldn't even support the public option, which is sort of the moderate Obama position. So we lost him. We lost him to right-wing organizing. But at the same time, when Labor Day came around and the AFL-CIO had their Labor Day breakfast, they would not let Stephen Lynch speak because he was too conservative on health care. We tried to speak at a big Labor Day healthcare rally that we had. We had over 4,000, 5,000 people in the Commons on Labor Day, and he was booed off the stage. And it may be the end of his political career. So I think that on this issue of healthcare, history is really on our side. We literally cannot afford to continue organizing healthcare in the way that we are organizing, because it's hurting not just low-income families, but increasingly every year the new uninsured is not low-income folks. It's climbing up the income ladder, way into the middle class, and it's destroying businesses. So there's going to be a breaking point, and we need to be prepared when it happens. You can make a difference on this. Thank you so much for your help. Green Rainbow Party is a valuable ally with MassCare. Thank you for having me.